Generic greetings and welcome back to Prison Architect and the Extreme Testing Initiative. This is the series where we put prisons that we've made through their paces and subject them to certain external stimuli, effects and scenarios that would not normally occur during ideal operating conditions, shall we say. Another way of putting it is we are going to force these prisoners to riot, run out or be equipped somehow with a load of weapons, and we're going to see what the response of our prison would be, whether or not it gets taken over or whether our security forces are okay, and just see what would happen in general. And it's quite interesting to see all of this. Now, this is going to be a little bit different from the other extreme testing initiatives, and that's because this is the 100% gang member prison. So every prisoner is a member of a gang, apart from a couple of edge case scenarios, which I don't know why they're not in a gang, but hey ho, let's go over the gangs and you see that that is the case there. Apart from this one and this one, we do have the majority of the prisoners all as gang members. So we have 55 red, 54 green and 58 blue. So it's a fairly even spread. It's an even distribution between the three gangs. We also have an area over here which is sectioned off. So we have our leaders and lieutenants in this area and then the protective custody down here. And that's going to be and also a different thing because I don't know how these are going to react to the external forces. I've currently got it on yard time, so the majority of the prisoners are in and around the yard. And we're going to go ahead and see what would happen when they are forced to do certain things. So whether it be to try and escape, try to fight, try to riot, or be equipped with loads of machine guns because, well, I don't know why. It's just part of the testing, I guess, and we'll see what happens where our limited number of guards are concerned, because it has the added challenge of us being limited to a certain number of guards. We set ourselves a target of having only one of each type of guard per 10 prisoners. So we've got the maximum capacity of 180, so we've said, right, we can have a maximum of 18 of each type of guard, and currently we have 18 regular guards, 12 armed guards, 13 dog handlers and 5 snipers. We're not going to buy any more, we're not going to set up any patrols. This is exactly how we left it at the end of the build series, so let's see what we can do. Let's go first over to the staff, and you can see we've got the Sandbar Special, which arms everybody with weapons, instant riot, instant jailbreak, instant fight and instant calm. So we're going to go with instant fight, and we'll see, and we'll work our way up. Now, this is going to be, well, an interesting one, because normally when we do this, we can expect to see them do certain things, but because these are gang members and they are part of each, well, there's obviously 3 gangs, will they all fight each other, or will the gangs gang up on the other gangs? I don't know, but I'm going to click the button and then I'm going to unpause it and we'll see what happens. So immediately you can see they are fighting there, and that is totally expected. You can see they have all taken their clothes off there and they're starting to fight these guards here. We have these snipers doing their own thing. You can see they have got the beam there, and some of them have started to give up. There is some fighting in and around here. We haven't put it on any free fire. We haven't also initiated any guard response. You can see that they are fighting, and yes, they are fighting each other. So they're not just fighting with the guards. However, that is also the case. You can see that a lot of these have put their hands up. So the sniper towers in the center here are doing their job. You can see the laser lines coming from the sniper towers and from the snipers themselves are going over and forcing these to give up. Let's go over, let's pause a second, go over to our intelligence and gangs, and I'm just going to see what sort of distribution we have. It does seem to be fairly even in and around here, and it looks like most of them have stopped, although no, we do still have some of the legendary prisoners in and around here doing their own thing. Have these given up? Or they're fighting? No, they are legendary prisoners, and they're just going to get some food. And it looks like that was that. Right, so I'm going to speed it to max speed because I want to see what happens to these. You can see the majority of them are cuffed now, and we do have 92 require medical attention, 81 awaiting solitary confinement, and 78 in lockdown. So that's going to take many days to sort that out. In terms of the gang members, 52 red, 53 green, and 51 blue. So it looks like blue has lost the majority of, lost the most members. I think that's the case. Yeah. Either way, I didn't expect to see them give up so readily. To be fair, it was not a riot, it was simply a fight, and they were in the yard where we have the snipers, so that stopped that. Okay, let's see what would happen if they just wanted to, say, charge out of the facility. So once again, it is actually just finished yard time, but they are in and around the yard there, so the same status as we had previously. Let's go over to our staff and then to the instant jailbreak. We will unpause it, click that, and now every single one of these prisoners is wanting to escape. Now, I don't know how they're going to do that. It looks like, for whatever reason, they're going through the centre here, and are they going to try and take out the sniper tower? You can see that a lot of them are, well, they're all charging towards the centre here. That's really scary. That's really scary. See, they're all charging straight towards the wall. They are actually making their way in here, and it looks like they are going for the armory. So instead of trying to run out, they are going for the armory. We have got the same thing going off here. Oh, hang on, let me just pause it a moment. You can see that the leaders and lieutenants have tried to run out, but because they haven't been armed, although there is a spare shotgun on the floor there, you can see that they're... Actually, that's on the food tray. That's not a nutritious meal. Anyway, so we'll go, yeah, from there. We're going to work the way out, and then we're going to go around here. And you can see that actually one of the... or a couple of the protective custody prisoners managed to get quite far, but the majority of these are trying to break into the armory, and they're doing a fairly decent job at it. They've already worked their way through the external gate, and then they went in the internal door, and now they're trying to fight their way through into this one. This is why we place the armory behind 2 layers of solitary door, because it's the toughest door in the game. Actually, no, I think that's wrong. I think there's another door that might be tougher, and that is the remote door, but I'm not sure. I'm not too sure if it is better or not. Either way, 2 escapes. Where from? Ah, there we go. So, what's happening is the gang members have come here. They've smashed open that jail door. You can see it's on 70%, but it's enough for them to squeeze through. And then they've went over that fence. We don't have any perimeter wall around the outside, and we don't have the barbed wire over here, which is why they chose to fight through the door rather than climb over, because that would take even more damage. It was more efficient for them to work together and go through there, and we're still getting more escapes through there. Oh yeah, through there. And you can see what will happen now is, even though this person's stopped, they'll come down here, they'll see that, and they'll go, probably, hang on, should we run out? No, they've chosen not to do that. Normally, if someone sees a opportunity to escape, they will take that, regardless of their status or their trade. That's not, I think that's just like a sort of hardwired thing for them. If there's an easy chance to escape, they will take it. But forcing all of the prisoners to try and escape has meant that only 4 of them did escape. Obviously, quite violent, as you can clearly tell, but there was how many deaths? 1 death, 4 escapes. That is actually, I wouldn't say acceptable, because I don't think any deaths in custody are acceptable, but it's far from the worst thing we've ever experienced. Speaking of the worst thing that we could have experienced, what would happen if all of them suddenly decide to riot? That's technically not the worst thing that they can experience. The Sandbox Special in a moment is what the worst thing is, but let's just see what happens when a cheeky riot kicks off. So you can see that is their riot effect. They're now jumping up and down, and they will... Well, riot's an interesting one. They have different ideas of what happens when things riot. So sometimes they try to escape, sometimes they try to fight, sometimes they try to get to a certain area. You can see there are several deaths already. It looks like they are just basically killing everybody and taking weapons over, but they are fighting each other. This is not something we normally see, and it's something that I wouldn't say I expected, because I didn't really know what to expect when it came to this gang fight, but there you go. This is what happens when you have 100% gang members, because they all want to fight each other. So let's go over to gangs. Yeah, they're all just congregating basically in one area, and they're fighting. If they were segregated, so say blue, red, green, I don't know what they would do, whether they work together to fight each other or whether they work together to go out. They don't seem to be fighting each other. Well, I mean, there's no real way for me to tell, because you can see what their recent misconduct was, but I can't really see what they were doing. We'd have to watch that during the event. Speaking of events, let's see what would happen if miraculously there was an airdrop of weapons and they managed to get their hands on it. So obviously this is not even an edge case scenario. This can't happen under normal operating conditions, but it's interesting to see what happens. So we're going to click on that, and immediately you can see that they're armed with all manner of tools, equipment and weapons. So we got batons, we got clubs, we got shotguns, drills, Uzis, submachine machine guns, pistols, revolvers. I believe some of them can have some assault rifles. Yeah, with some M16s, like /A4 type things there. And you can see that they are, oh yeah, they are happily just shooting there. Now I want to pause it for a moment. I can see they are shooting at, who are they shooting at? I don't know who they're shooting at, but that person's got a lighter, but they're not using it. I don't think they do use the lighter. You can see that they are fighting that armed guard. If I put on free fire, I'm guessing they will happily just... Oh, yeah. They will happily start pulling the trigger on that one. It looks like they are focusing on escaping. They are not really bothered about... I say not bothered about fighting each other. That is obviously the case. They are trying to fight each other. But if I go over to gangs here... Are they fighting each other? I don't think they are. They do seem to be simply fighting... They do seem to be fighting just the guards, or their... Yeah, their opposition. How many rounds does that thing have? Not enough, apparently, because that guy's just been plastered. He's had his head hit against a wall and knocked out. 4 escapes. 29 deaths. That's the same place they escaped from. So we know that this is the weak point. This... And this is where the weak points are. These areas. Which we sort of expected toward the end of the build series. We knew that this should have been a perimeter wall, or at least have barbed wire across it. So what happens when a 100% gang member prison kicks off and is armed with all of the weapons? Well, actually not a lot. We have a couple of escapes and a lot of people killed or injured, and certainly some overtime for the janitors and their mop bucket. However, it could have been a lot worse, and we expected a lot worse. I think it's just because on normal conditions they tend to fight each other and not try to get out, and in the extreme manufactured settings they tend to get stopped by the guards, which are the super guards. If this was a regular prison, so we had, say, 100% gang members, but also had standard guards, but any amount that we wanted, then I don't know if it would go the same way. It would be interesting finding out. But we will not find out, because that's not this facility. This facility is 100% gang members with the super guards on there. That has been a little bit of the extreme testing initiative. It has brought up some interesting results, and it's good to know that basically, even if there was a massive riot, this place is secure. The only places of note, as I said, are at the sort of top and bottom of the facility, which is very easily fixed. Either way, I hope you have enjoyed this little mess around and trying and testing the facility. It's good to know that we have done a fairly decent job. Certainly the bit in the centre has... been the sort of standout piece, a big sort of compound with the sniper towers. That has definitely sorted us right out. Either way, I hope you have enjoyed the video. Thanks very much for watching. Take care, and generic partings.